Welcome to Smart TV and another one of our webinar broadcasts. Today is part of our Smart People series, where we interview industry experts to gain their thoughts and ideas on what's happening on clinical issues as well as commercial. Today, I'm delighted to have Morgen Brown joining us, a triple threat. Despite her youthful appearance, has over a decade of experience as a salon manager in a highly successful clinic, as well as being a lecturer, and I'm proud to say has joined us on our training team. Today we're going to be talking about how the Smart Diode can be a core asset to all beauty aesthetic operators and how it has affected her business and some advice when treating people. So here's an interview I recorded earlier. I'd like to welcome everybody to another Smart Symposium and webinar. Today we are Meet the Expert, and I'm delighted that we have a triple threat with us today. Morgen Brown is joining us. Now, she's not only a level 4 aesthetic therapist, she's also a college lecturer. She's also the clinic manager of the amazing Belissima exclusive up there in Guiseley in Yorkshire. And we are delighted that she's found the time to join the Smart Clinical Training team as a consultant and trainer. So welcome, Morgen. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Now, as I tend to do, I want to start with our subscribers. Can you give me just 3 things that best describe who you are?
Yeah, I'm a clinical therapist working in a family-run business. I have a passion for clinical treatments and result-driven machines.
So it's all about results. Fantastic. That's what we like. So now give us a bit of history about Belissima exclusive. So you say it's family-run business, but it's come a long way, isn't it?
Yes, massively. We started in 1992 and we started with the general beauty treatment and have grown with the industry, continually developing with new technologies and going into a more clinical side salon with clinical facials, body treatments and aesthetic treatments. And we have been open for 30 years next year. So
it's literally a full spectrum of practice, from basic beauty all the way up to aesthetic and non-invasive. Yeah. And do you have an injectables clinic?
We do, yeah. We have 2 nurses and a doctor who work with us.
So fantastic. So it's full spectrum. It's amazing, brilliant. Yeah. So laser hair removal, what we're going to talk about today, of which we're delighted that you've joined our clinical and training team. How long has Belissima been offering laser hair removal?
Approximately about 23 years this year we've been offering laser hair removal.
So you've gone that whole journey back from the early days up to where we are now. So you've changed, I think about this time last year, from a traditional IPL system to the Smart Diode laser technology.
Yeah, that's right.
So why did you make that change?
We had been doing the IPL traditionally, and our market had reduced quite dramatically. And when we looked and researched, we'd seen a massive change in technology from things now with quicker treatments, pain-free, and we needed to make that conversion to the new technology to then convert more of our existing clients onto something a lot better and a lot more effective. And we just couldn't do that with our machine that we had, so we had to look elsewhere. Okay, fantastic. And as all things do, one of the constants in life is change. So if we don't adapt as a business, our clients will obviously look to go where that change is happening, because it's going to give them a perceived better treatment and performance. Now, one of the major differences between the Diode technology and traditional laser IPL is this technology of SHR delivery, where we're using rapid pulsing of low energy, which differs from the traditional single shot of high energy. How's that changed the way that you treat and the way that the customers feel? It's changed it dramatically. We've had a lot of conversion from clients who traditionally are waxing clients to now taking on with the pain-free aspect of the SHR. It's also, as a salon, being able to shorten our treatment times. It's a lot quicker. People have the ability to come in their lunch break and fit it into their busy schedules.
Excellent. So in my words, being a commercial dinosaur,
that process, the technology and the treatment has kind of democratized the treatment to make it more accessible to basically a wider audience.
Definitely. It's also brought in a lot of new clients because we can treat all the skin types as well now.
Fantastic. So that kind of gives me kind of and our subscribers a background to you, your business, your decision making in terms of the evolution of your laser hair removal, and 20 odd years of doing laser hair removal. You are an expert at laser hair removal, and that obviously to many of our subscribers is of interest because of your clinical knowledge. So what I want to just tap into and drain your brain a little bit is some of those kind of clinical treatment things that you ensure that happens during the training process and obviously in the treatment process. So one of the questions we get asked most is, why is calculating the client's skin type so important to a laser treatment?
When it comes down to the skin type, especially with the machine that we have with the Smart Group, it's when you choose the skin type, it will then automatically choose the parameters that will effectively treat that hair. If you treat the wrong skin type, you're not going to get the right settings to treat the hair effectively. So
quite simply, is getting the skin type right means that you get the treatment correct.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. Wrong skin type, you're not going to effectively treat and have the right parameters, the power, the laser output, the frequency isn't going to be right for that skin type. So we're going to compromise end result and treatment results.
That's it, yeah.
And we find that calculating that that skin type correctly is a common mistake. We've introduced through the Smart Group is an automated is a machine that does that for you with the skin type analyzer. We can instantly place that on the skin and find out instantly, without question, what that skin type is in that area, including tan skin, correct?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Fantastic. So we get it right every time.
That's it. It's also a great tool for therapists who are newly qualified as well, who maybe have less understanding on skin types. With growing their knowledge, it definitely helps that as well.
Yeah, and to be fair to all the therapists out there, clients tend to not be completely truthful in terms of their reaction to sunlight on the Fitzpatrick questionnaire, and everybody seems to be tan really easily and have a really dark skin type, yet they're blue-eyed and blonde haired. So
yeah.
That helps that issue there. So again, it's that consistency and playing on that word consistency. Yeah, how can we kind of take human error out of delivering the correct consistent treatment using the Smart Diode?
Well, with the Smart Diode, they have preset modes. As long as you follow your protocol, the machine does all the work for you, which takes out that human error.
Okay, so that's pretty cool. So exact delivery every time. You know, what happens if it goes wrong?
It's very unlikely for anything to go wrong, because obviously the training that you receive, and you have full support from the Smart Group. If you're following your protocol, it's probably the most simplest machine I've ever used when it came down to laser hair removal.
Fantastic. You know, without causing offence, one's going to ask now. So the machine pre-programs the treatment for you in terms of its parameters. It checks itself and diagnostics, so it makes sure it's operating correctly. We have a machine that does the skin type. Is there any use for the therapist?
Well, someone has to deliver the treatment, so that's where I come in. And that part of the treatment is also just as important as the settings itself.
Well, I might like to add, it is the most important part, because any machine can only be operated by a human, and we need talented and experts therapists to be able to deliver that continuity of treatment. So we can eliminate, which is a common factor in many laser operations, we can eliminate that poor initial treatment settings, which is going to give us a more consistent treatment, consistent results, happier customer, which is fantastic. Another question a lot of our subscribers have asked is, a common question to them is, can a laser cure hormonal conditions, e.g. polycystic ovaries?
Unfortunately, hormones will always win, but it's a great tool to manage hair growth, and it's a lot more comfortable than waxing and shaving. Okay,
excellent. And I would suppose there's lots of other human factors that can affect hair growth, both now and maybe in the future. How do we approach that?
That's when it comes down to the consultation process, making it clear to your client what the factors may occur that might affect the hair growth, and making sure they have an understanding of that.
So we can, for the majority of our customers, we've got an endpoint to get to. It's a permanent hair reduction. But some of our customers that may be suffering from an external factor, hormonal condition, for example, we're looking to treat with a course of sessions and then manage that situation or the symptoms of that situation, because they still require looking after.
Yeah.
So perfect. So those kind of clients are actually an asset to the business because it's repeat custom.
Yeah, definitely. And it also creates a lot of trust with those sort of clients who do have a medical that they want to kind of manage.
Okay, I mean, that's really interesting. And kind of on that kind of subject of a medical condition that is maybe causing a hair growth issue, I understand that laser hair removal can now be a prescribed treatment. That's
it. We do get quite a few referrals from doctors for an easier way to manage hair growth.
Oh, fantastic. And I believe that we have some of our clinics out there that are actually on the list of the NHS to perform hair removal for gender transformation.
Yeah, that's it.
So excellent. So as a medical device, that meets their criteria, and you would advise that if clinics are looking to become laser hair removal for transformation, that they contact their local health authority, and I think there's relevant forms they can fill out to be a referred site and be prescribed and offer prescription hair removal.
Yeah, that's right. We've actually been in touch recently to be added onto a list to help transgender clients.
Fantastic. I mean, that's great. So now another question: why is the distance between laser hair removal treatments an important factor? That time distance.
The reason why you have to have certain intervals between treatments, because you have to give that chance for the hair that you have treated in treatment to fall out and then to regrow. If you're treating too frequently, you're treating the same hair that you had before, and if you're taking it too longer, you're missing the active growing stage.
So different parts of the body, hair grows at different times, match the treatment to the hair growth cycle of that area of the body.
Yeah, that's right.
Legs and face can't be done at the same time every time.
No.
Perfect. And yeah, I know that I think the face is something 2 to 3 weeks, and between sessions for the legs is maybe up to 6 to 7.
Yeah.
So, you know, in my mind, that's every third facial treatment you can go back and have a leg treatment at the same time. So that's an important part, especially for the very popular full body treatments. Those full body treatments really shouldn't be done all at the same time, but at the correct spacing.
That's right. And it's also worth mentioning from another point of view that when it comes down to facial, this machine does allow you to treat facial hair slightly more frequently, which we've had a lot more effective results from previous machines that we've used.
Fantastic. That's good to hear. Now, so back on hair growth, does hair growth, as we're going down our treatment course, slow down and become maybe thinner during that course of treatments?
Yeah, definitely. You should be always telling your clients that as you progress through the course, that hair growth is going to start slowing a lot slower, and also the results are going to start slowing down. That's completely normal. It's because there's less hairs in the active growing stage to treat. And
so that then begs the question: you've got to complete your 6 sessions.
Yeah, I describe it as a bit like being on antibiotics from doctors. You get prescribed a prescription, they tell you to take it for a week. You feel better in 2 days, but you still finish that course of antibiotics. It's the same as with laser.
I mean, that's a perfect analogy, because I know of a certain clinic where the clients were so delighted after their results after 3 or 4 sessions, they didn't complete those 6 session courses, and of course 2 to 3 months down the line, we witnessed that some of those clients are getting what they perceive to be hair growth, but actually it's not hair growth. They haven't finished the prescribed course.
Exactly that. So
the moral is follow the prescribed course from Morgen, or you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, pertinently at the moment, if there's a break in this treatment course for whatever reason, ill health, and most typically at the moment, obviously lockdown, are we likely to see some of our clients seeing a bit of regrowth because they've missed some of their planned sessions?
Yeah, that is natural to happen. Like we mentioned before, consistency is key. And unfortunately, with things out of our control, you may need 1 or 2 more treatments.
Okay, and so we need to watch out for that when our clients come back after lockdown, reconsult, see if they've seen any change in their hair growth, and finish the course, and then review, obviously, after 6 or 8 sessions, what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, technical question here. Dear Morgan, can you move the laser ahead over the area to be treated at any speed?
No, sometimes, you know, you might get a bit carried away, but you definitely need to make sure that you're doing it at an effleurage movement, not too fast, otherwise you're not delivering enough heat in the area.
It's that kind of word consistency coming in again, isn't it?
Yeah, consistency is key.
Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm a bit thicker than most, but I am definitely getting and why is it important to grid out treatment areas?
If you do a treatment too large, you then may not be delivering the right amount of energy in the area. By gridding, you eliminate that risk.
Okay, perfect. Now, interestingly, we've talked about the 42 preset treatments that are available in the Smart Diode.
Yeah.
The question here, is there an option where I can opt out and adjust the way that the laser is delivered?
Yeah, there is something called the professional mode, which you can use to alter the settings accordingly.
Fantastic. So that's kind of, again, that adjustment of the parameters such as the energy fluence, the pulse width, the frequency of shots. I know many people are adjusting speed so we can go even faster.
Yeah.
The legs in 10 treatment seems to be very popular. So that adjustment. Now there's this kind of question about, you know, I'm asked a lot about wavelengths and what's the importance. So can we give a kind of a brief, without getting too technical, a kind of a brief idea on why we have different wavelengths as an option?
Yeah, with having different wavelengths, you have the ability to treat all different depths of hair. You have the finer hairs, you have the standard hair, you have the deeper hair. And with having those combined, you get the best possible ability to get the best reduction of hair growth.
Yeah, fantastic. And I know for a fact that hair in the underarm and pelvic region lies at a deeper depth, for example, than the facial hair.
Yeah.
It would make sense as wavelengths travel to different depths, you can offer that choice.
Yeah, exactly that.
Perfect. So saying that, multiple wavelengths aren't necessarily a must-have, are they?
No, because you have the ability to treat all skin types with the diode.
So perfect. So even that diode 808 wavelength is suitable medically grade device to treat all skin types and all hair depths. It's that extra wavelengths, depending on your client base, that can just optimize results in maybe darker skin types, for example.
Yeah.
Perfect. So now, what is optimum power? We hear this low power, optimum power, high power. Can you give a layman's clinical view again on what your thoughts are on that?
Optimum power is a power that you are giving enough power in the treatment to treat the hair follicle, but not disintegrating the hair, vaporizing, which means that you can then have a standard amount of treatments, usually 6 to 8 treatments. It's not a course where you have to wait as long for each treatment. The higher the powered, the longer you have to wait for treatments, which will extend your hair removal course.
Okay, so low, underpowered or low powered lasers, you're running the risk of having to have more treatments because you can't be so effective. Too high power, you start destroying the very follicle and hair shaft that you want to remain in situ for the next treatment. So you have to wait for that to repair. So your treatments may be further apart. Whilst very effective, it may take 12 to 18 months to finish a course, for example, where that optimum power is that happy medium of the exact power to maximize the treatment efficacy, but without creating destruction to healthy hair follicles that you want to treat next time.
Yeah.
Right, even I got that. Thank you very much. So I just want to thank you so much for those clinical things. I've learned some stuff there. Now back to commercially, in terms of, you know, we're seeing here that, you know, and I've been in laser hair removal for a little bit longer than Belissima have, but we won't tell everybody that. But it's over 22 years, and that's where all our subscribers are just telling me now that that's not possible. I'm only saying I started very young. I know I'm only saying I started very young, but as I said, for over 20 years there seems to be this resurgence. Laser hair removal seems to be as popular as ever, kind of across all age groups. Are you seeing that where you are?
Yeah, massively. It's targeting the full dynamic of clients that we have.
Great. And I'm also seeing a lot of interest from that younger age group, that under 30s. It seems to be kind of almost a fashion. It's a trend now to have multiple areas treated at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking from a personal point of view, is our lives just get busier, and we want something that's quick, effective, and doesn't take much effort, which is definitely laser hair removal.
Well, that fits in today's consumer lifestyle, doesn't it? It's
yeah,
quick,
definitely.
and I don't have to do much to make it happen. And of course, I suppose now with the speed of treatments, the pain-free, that stigma of laser being expensive, painful, and doesn't always work has really gone with this next generation of machines.
Yeah, it's almost reinvented laser.
So that's interesting. So Belissima, established business, yeah, for many years, has multi-treatment facets. So would you say the introduction of the Smart Diode in your business there has increased your already established laser business?
1000%, most definitely.
Fantastic. You can't get more than 1000%, maybe 1001%. Now, also, it's laser hair removal now become like that must-have core business that any serious beauty or aesthetic professional should offer? Yeah,
definitely. It marries both sides of this side of the beauty industry. You've got the clinical side, but you also have a great opportunity to convert those salons who typically do more waxing. Our conversion rate of waxing clients has been massive as well. And
therefore the average spend of that client has gone up.
Yeah, and you're also seeing them more frequently as well. So you have opportunity to talk about everything else that you offer as well.
Well, I mean, it makes complete sense. If waxing was the core treatment to beauty and aesthetics 10, 15 years ago, that's now really following the European model that it's now laser. People are wanting a permanent solution. Yeah. So that's good. Now, what has lockdown taught you, and what effects do you think as we reopen coming soon, April the 12th, fingers crossed? And I personally am very positive that that's happening. I'm really between the lines, and I don't see any kind of clinical reasons at the moment. The data's saying the data, so that's all positive. But as we come to that proposed April the 12th, what have you learned from being shut down and locked down about how you operate in the past, and how's that kind of changed you looking forward in terms of treatments, pounds per hour, and so on?
Well, it's become quite apparent that there's clientele that they don't want to spend as long in the salon. You can do treatment as quickly back to back because you have to have more cleaning time, and that really kind of cemented the idea that we have to move with the way that everything was changing, choosing a treatment that can be delivered quickly but effectively, minimal touch, and a safe environment.
Well, I mean, that hits those key notes that we know that consumers are looking at. I'm one. You know, I want to, it's safety first, everything that we do, because, you know, the thought of it is quite scary. So what advice would you give our subscribers? Kind of some top tips, any ideas in terms of reopening?
Definitely market in lockdown, get those virtual consultations to discuss your laser machine. And also, if you haven't already got one, look into new technologies, move with the times, be a salon that people want to go to because you're always doing something new.
Fantastic. And nearly coming to the end of this drilling of an expert, as a salon manager of an established business, and you know, it's there, what advice would you give to someone who's thinking about adding laser hair removal to their business, to their salon, to their clinic? How do they look about it? What are the key indicators that should look in terms of supply and equipment?
You definitely need to be looking for something that is clinically proven, FDA approved. You also don't want to be looking at your peers, getting a feedback from salons that have machines, but also looking kind of what fits your business as well, in the right price point, and also your clientele. And a massive thing for us was working with someone who offered us support. with our industry, support is a massive thing, and working with someone who does have that close-knit support will always push you further when it comes to being successful.
Fantastic. I'm a great believer in partners rather than the word customers, because it's between the distributors, suppliers, salons, clinics, therapists. If we all work together to the same goal, which is, in my mind, guaranteed results and excellent clinical care, we can only grow stronger as an industry and together. So before I let you go, as I started with 3 things, I'd like to ask you 3 things to finish with. So give us 3 things that you personally want to see happen this year.
Well, I want to be back in our successful salon doing laser every day like I was, but I would like to go on holiday, and I would like to get married finally.
Well, hey, and all of those I wish happen for you. Sound great. Yeah. I want to thank you. You truly are Meet the Expert. We hope to see you soon. So Morgen from Belissima, thanks very much and farewell.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks to Morgen there. What an inspirational person she is. We're delighted that she joins us occasionally as part of our Smart team on the clinical side, and a great experience and understanding of how the Smart Diode has worked within her mother's clinic and how it's developed after offering laser hair removal. So what it's really shown us is that laser hair removal and the Smart Diode platform can actually be a core necessity to any beauty or aesthetic operator. We have programs and payment plans to allow you to own a Smart Diode from as little as £50 a month, but with a huge demand, delivers a £300 plus per hour revenue, treatments from as little as £19 with an average treatment cost of around £50. The Smart Diode really is the go-to treatment for any beauty or aesthetic operator that's looking to add a machine to their current business. So if you're looking to change, looking to develop, or take the next step, please call any of our team or go onto our website, the-smartgroup.co.uk, and download some information. We can send you a full trade information pack. So once again, thank you for listening to Smart TV and this webinar, and we hope to see you soon.